Well, this sucks.
Hello and welcome back to the time of the Whovians United. I'm joined by Farron and we have just watched the finale of Doctor Who Flux, entitled The Vanquishers. I can't remember why it was called that, so...
The Sontarans, at one point they said, "We're the Vanquishers," and I was like, oh, okay, is that it?
I didn't even know it was name dropped, but I think that's because for most of the episode I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on.
Me too.
The three words I would use to describe this is bloated, confusing, and unsatisfying. This was a terrible episode to wrap off a terrible series. This was just all over the place. It was stuffed to the brim full of unanswered questions and the ones that were answered, not satisfying at all. Too many characters that got pushed to the side and just really didn't need to be part of the episode or series at all, but we'll get to that. And yeah, no, generally I feel like I've just wasted the last 6 Sundays of my life with this. So go on then.
My initial thoughts, it was bad, wasn't it? It wasn't very good at all. I'm just gonna, cap it off with the old phrase, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. I mean, I am just completely and utterly disappointed. Like, what changed? Nothing. What did the characters do? Nothing. Why were they there? No reason. What happened? Absolutely nothing. Too many characters, too much going on, and it kind of made me think, like, because at the start of the series, I was watching it with my mum. I was watching the first episode with my mum, and she turned to me. She was like, I'm not really, like, following any of this. She was like, there's a lot going on, isn't there? And I said, yeah, but, like, I'm sure there'll be a payoff to, all the characters and stuff. And those were famous last words, weren't they? And just absolutely nothing. And like again, it kind of made me throughout the whole episode. My constant prevailing thought was, if this character wasn't here, if blank wasn't here, would it be any different?
Yeah, like half the characters there, remove them, nothing would change.
If Belle wasn't here, nothing would change. If Vinda wasn't here, nothing would change. Guess Carmen Easter. If Jericho wasn't here, absolutely nothing would have changed. Claire wasn't there, nothing would have changed. And it was like, and again, even like with Swarm and Azure, they were just there, and then they just left. They got absorbed by time, so I guess time is a sentient being now?
Wait, that was Time, whatever the hell that duplicate was.
Yeah, that was Time.
Why is Chibnall trying to be so clever?
It's not clever, though.
It's not. Like, the entire vibe of the episode, you get the sensation that Chibnall's, like, putting all these words in about time and everything. It's like, oh, this is the cleverest thing anyone in mankind has ever written. Just, no, it's not. Stop it. Please, get in the bin.
You're getting really angry about this.
I am. I let my guard down again. Why am I doing this every time we get a breath of just... I'm angry with myself more than the episode, I think.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, the format of the series as well, the problem is...
It wasn't used to full effect at all.
No, and there's not an episode where you think, I'm just going to rewatch this single one, because they're just so heavily tied... I mean, Save 2. So heavily tied in with the Flux, where it's got this horrible, jumpy, back and forth format that it just wouldn't even be enjoyable to watch.
I agree. Like, even some of the episodes that I really liked, like the Village of the Angels and Once Upon a Time, they've been like, I wouldn't really go back and rewatch them because like it's almost been tainted at this point.
Yeah, no, I think that's it. Like War of the Sontarans, I don't think I'm either gonna... I think that's dropped down dramatically in my liking list. I still think it's one of the better Chibnall episodes, but I think given just this episode has actually ruined a lot of the past content for me. But yeah, in summary, yeah, so characters and villains then.
Okay, so characters and villains, who was here? Jody was good. I like the idea of her getting split across 3 separate time zones. I was like, oh, that's cool, and it actually gave the episode, like, I think the episode got off to, like, a fairly good start. I think it was in the second half where it really began to falter, but that was helped by Jodie and her performance. She was again, consistently good. Yaz and Dan didn't do much, did they? They were just kind of there. They just kind of stood around and did nothing. They were not important to the plot at all.
Just like Dan this entire series.
Why is Dan here?
It could have just been Yaz.
It could have just been Yaz.
Dan did not need to be there at all.
Who else was there? Carmen Easter. He got revealed to be one of the Doctor's old companions, and I was like, yes! Okay, cool! But why isn't he the companion now? It was weird. I mean, that led to like a quite nice. There was a quite nice scene between him and Jody that I thought was really good. And the guy who plays Carmen Easter, I don't know his name, but he's really really good, and his emotions really shine through the makeup, and it's really good. Especially like acting under heavy prosthetics cannot be easy, but he pulls it off. The Sontarans, they were there and didn't really do anything and weren't really important. One of them raided a corner shop.
That scene really annoys me to my core.
I was like, we've just taken a step backwards. We've taken a step backwards. It's 2 steps forwards, 1 step back.
Oh look, Strax back, everyone. Strax is back.
I mean, I know it wasn't Strax, but like, you get what I mean. Like, it's just literally, you're taking a step backwards. Like, you did them so well in War of the Sontarans. There was a good balance between the humor and their seriousness, and like even the horse joke, where it was kind of like, okay, yeah, that's funny, but it doesn't compromise their threatening ability.
It doesn't, but no, this one's like, it can get paid off with chocolate. And I don't even get that, because the Sontarans have total control of Earth. How is the Doctor in any sort of position to bargain with this? Just get in the bin. Just get in the bin.
Who else was there? Jericho. He died, and it was kind of sad, because I quite liked him. Claire was back, and that was it. She was there. Oh, Belle and Vinda. They were there. What did they do?
They breathed oxygen.
And that's characters and villains. Everybody was there. Oh, Swarm and Azure.
Yeah, that was a disappointing payoff, wasn't it?
And so was the Grand Serpent.
Why was the Grand Serpent involved with units?
Yeah, like what was the point of them? Why was he there? He was no point to him.
Why? Oh, hold on. Kate Stewart.
Oh shit! Yeah, she was there. Oh my gosh! How many characters were in this episode? There were so many.
I don't know. I feel like if you just did an annual rewatching of this episode, another one would sort of crop up that you forgot about.
I didn't even realise how many people were in this episode. Wow.
I guess it's my turn.
Yeah, it's. I've never heard anybody sound so disappointed.
I'm so defeated, Farron. I'm just done.
I'm sorry. To the audience, I'm talking to the audience now. Literally, the first words I said to Sam as soon as we got on a call after the episode, I said, Sam, I'm sorry. Because I already knew how much he was
So yeah, characters. Jody Whitaker's Doctor, one positive to take from this, I suppose. I've gone from really not liking her to just finding her you know, like, she doesn't annoy me as nearly as much, and I think she's definitely a more consistent version of herself, but I still wouldn't say she's a Doctor I quite enjoy watching on screen. She's a Doctor that's on screen, and I just have to sort of live with it, and I'm not really going to care when she regenerates, so I guess that's a positive. Yaz, just annoying. Dan, for the entire series, I don't know what even to say, just... why was he there at all? Just have the Doctor and Yaz. And then you got Belle and Vinda. Again, what was the point of having them at all? Just cut them out. Nothing would change. Dan's love interest person, Diana, whatever her name was, cut her out. Wouldn't make a difference. Jericho and Claire.
Cut them out.
Yeah, cut them out. Nothing would change. I mean, just keep them to... I mean, to be fair, I'm kind of glad they returned in a way, but not massively. Who else? That's it. There's so many characters, you just can't think of them all. You just know you're going to miss them out. Sontarans, they were absolutely wasted.
They were wasted, though. In both senses of the word, because now they're dead.
Kate Stewart, why bring her back if you're not going to use her? Carmen Easter, I suppose he kind of served a I liked how he was still involved in the story after one episode, even after his first episode, so I'm glad he was a part of that. Then, okay, villains, I guess. Grand Serpent, why was he there? Just no point to him. Sontarans, they became a joke again pretty quickly, didn't they? And Swarm and Azure, I started off the series being quite intrigued by them. I now couldn't give less of a shit about them. Yeah, that's it. I can't think of any more. My brain hurts. Okay, so moving on then, we got the production values. Yeah, fine. Like, the CGI was pretty good for the most part. Sets designs were pretty good. There was some awful editing at times.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah, do you remember when they're in the sewers or whatever, and you got Jody Whitaker, and you got basically the camera just kept dotting about with every other word she was saying.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be for a reason. I thought it was like, oh, is it to show like her brain's really scatty or like something's going on with time or whatever? But it was literally for no reason. It was just bad editing.
Yeah, it was terrible editing. It was jarring.
And the same thing when Joseph Williamson left. He literally just kind of like, he was like, madam, and then he was like suddenly like teleported in front of Jodie. He was just like, madam, like
There was a lot of continuity errors, really. They just sort of hopped about. So clearly they were trying to rush something here.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? I think maybe a lot of this episode got cut out.
It would make sense because obviously it went from 8 to 6, and maybe with 2 more episodes, this series would have felt a lot less bloated, especially this finale, but I somehow doubt that.
Can I go? And I think cinematography was really good. CGI looked great. There was really, like, for the past few episodes I've been a bit like, oh, that was a bit of dodgy, CGI there. But for the most part here, it looked really nice.
Especially Sontaran's ships, actually.
Yeah, all the Dalek ships and the Flux, that looked really good. Also, the music was really good, I thought. Everything looked fine. Everything sounded fine. On a technical level, it was fine. Just editing. Editing was so bad. I completely agree with you. It was so bad. It was really, like... Usually, I don't really notice bad editing until, like, the second or third time around, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that was a bit bad. But, like, here, it was literally, like, Jodie's there, and suddenly she's by Kate Stewart, and then suddenly she's by, Yaz, and then her surrounding the passenger form, like, she sonicked it, and then suddenly she was behind it, and I was like... Whoa, what? Editing was bad, but apart from that, everything looked fine, I guess.
Okay, so it's time for the cringe of the week. I think really the problem here is that what can't we include in cringe of the week in this?
I actually had 2 by like the 10-minute mark. I think the first one was right at the start of the episode when Yaz grabbed that rope and she was like in the middle of Sontaran fire and none of the lasers were hitting her at all. And there was a bit where John Bishop just went, wait, so these lead us through time? And it genuinely sounded like somebody slowed down the footage. And I was like, he just said it so slowly. He was like, wait, so this and this and this? I'm John Bishop. That's what he said. Yeah, so those are my 2 cringes of the week.
Okay. Mine would be the Sontaran getting bribed with chocolate. That was a thing that happened in this episode. What else? I guess the really forced Yaz and Dan friendship as well. Just calling someone a nickname doesn't make you mates, does it?
Also, it's not really a nickname, is it? It's just like Scouse.
Oh, hello, Northern. Or I was trying to think of something. I don't know. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's just crap.
Hello, Brummy.
Yeah, hello, Brummy. Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, you're not mates. Stop trying to pretend you're mates. Like, I'm still not convinced you're mates with the Doctor.
Also, I love how, like, John Bishop was just like, he was so sad. He was like, oh, man, I'm sad. And then Jodie was like, hey, but you know what'll cheer you up? Time travel. Get in. Whoa, time travel. I'm going to get a bed in a TARDIS. And also, oh god, we didn't even figure out why the TARDIS is dying or whatever.
Wait, has that actually been left unresolved?
Yeah, I mean...
Wait, hold on, but in the New Year's special poster, the TARDIS got cracks, hasn't it? So maybe they're continuing that on.
Yeah, in the New Year's special, yeah, the TARDIS is, like, leaking. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree with Dan. I'm surprised he's so willing to go back, considering he got trapped in a different decade for about 5 years.
Yeah, that was a bit... Oh, yeah, they completely glossed over that.
They've all aged a fair bit thinking about it, and I mean, obviously, budget, but it doesn't really show, does it?
No, not really. And also, the fact, I was thinking about this, there was absolutely no need for them to have aged by 3 years, and it's like, there was no need for them to be in the past for 3 years, because, like, all it did was just make things more convoluted.
Yeah, it just disjoints things even more. Okay, then, so, I guess that's that, but... Do you want to read Corey's views out on this?
Okay, so this is what Corey had to say on the episode. That was a little underwhelming. Absolutely baited by the fob watch. Some interesting concepts with the Doctor being split apart. The Sontaran corner shop gag was awful. Didn't get the answers I was hoping for regarding the Timeless Child or the Division. Unsure on the Swarm and Azure plotline. Kate and Unit was mostly irrelevant. Didn't touch upon the ramifications of Flux for the universe. Is it still destroyed? Oh yeah, I was thinking that. Anyway, the companions didn't do much, it was mostly the Doctor. Daleks and Cybermen wasted as barely even cameos. Sad for the death of that character. Enjoyable in parts, but mostly lacklustre in resolution to the series. And I believe that's all he said.
Okay, so here are George's thoughts and opinions on this episode. In summary, the special effects were fantastic, but he couldn't help but thinking that Kate Stewart was pretty irrelevant within this story. To quote him directly, she was just there, and no chemistry between her and the Doctor. He was excited for the Grand Serpent's involvement, but was ultimately disappointed by his motivations to find Kate. But he really did enjoy the Sontaran's plan to eradicate eradicate the Daleks and Cybermen, especially in that moment when they suddenly realise, oh wait, we've been betrayed here. And his personal cringe of the week is when Carmen Easter finds out his people are all dead and he does the wolf howl thing. You soulless monster, George, you know that? Like, this man's grieving. The whole Three Doctors thing was also cringe. He didn't care for the characters or relationship between Belle and Vinda. He liked the plan of Swarm and Azure for the endless loop of destruction, but in the end the characters themselves just became pretty irrelevant. He quite liked Jericho as a character, and he was a bit sad when he had to die. He was glad that the Doctor opened up with Yaz, but now he fears that the Phasmin thing is going to become much more prevalent in the Doctor Who community. And to be fair, yeah, I genuinely thought they were going to kiss in that scene. And ultimately, he wasn't happy that basically the Timeless Child is still a plot point that's going to be continuing, because obviously, as you know, the last episode, it was basically made unrewritable, going to carry on through. And yeah, no, he's not really in favour of that. Okay, and that's George's thoughts. Fair enough. That's weird, because we've all got the same opinions on this episode for the first time in this series.
Has it been the first time in the series? I feel like we all agreed on Village of the Angels.
No, I didn't really rate that. More of the Sontarans, actually, I think we all agreed on. But yeah, there we go. That is Doctor Who Flux now finished, and I, for one, am delighted.
I can safely say I'm never going to revisit it.
I really can't be bothered. But on the plus side, the New Year's special looks really good.
The New Year's special does look good. I think that's where we should leave it. On an optimistic note, the trailer looks really, really good.
We shall, but let's face it, it might be poo. But yeah, thank you for tuning in for the last 6 weeks to watch us theorise and review these episodes. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment your views on the finale and this series as a whole, and we shall see you with our regular content next time.
Bye.
Wow, I was hoping for a bit more enthusiasm there.
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye. Done.